Good morning and welcome back to another edition of Research Fantasy Presents our MLB DFS Pitcher Picks for Thursday, June 15th, 2017. Hard to believe the month is halfway over now. We will be starting the CFL season, which I will do videos for. That will start next week. So that's exciting. We've got PGA and NASCAR in full swing. We are about, as crazy as it sounds, a month and a half away from the NFL preseason beginning. So things definitely starting to ramp up here at Research Fantasy. Don't forget to check out what we've got going on at researchfantasy.com. Today we're here to talk about my three favorite pitching options, and all I can really say is I wish that this slate was bigger because I would have much rather used some of these guys on a bigger slate where their ownership would have been naturally depressed. First and foremost, Jeff Hoffman at home in Coors taking on the Giants. Now, look, we understand how all DFS works, right? Like, nobody is immune from having a down game. There are plenty of people who rostered Russell Westbrook when he needed 70 to hit value, and he just only got 42, and, it killed you because you had all your eggs in one basket. They all broke. Your night's over. Happened to me last night. I guess I just didn't pay attention enough to some of my lineups. I'm not sure what happened in the Angels-Yankees game, but something happened that allowed me to accrue a lot of points that did not happen before I went to sleep. I have no idea why that would have happened, to be completely honest with you. That was a high-scoring game. Anyway, moral of the story here, Hoffman has been playing lights out. Potentially in the span that he's been hot for, there's been no hotter pitcher in baseball. Comes in priced very cheaply because his game is in Coors. Matchup sucks because the Giants just don't strike out a lot. Being at Coors isn't going to help the situation, but who knows? I mean, Hoffman has solid numbers thus far. If this was a 15-game slate, he would carry such low ownership that it would be a lock for me to carry him at 20% or so. But with this being a shorter slate and with this being, Hoffman riding somewhat of a hot streak here, I expect his ownership to be a little bit higher. I'm really not too afraid of the Coors effect. I might be crazy and I don't have the time to run the numbers and do the analysis, but it doesn't seem as if Coors on a whole has been as destructive on pitching as it has in years past. I could just be hitting things on the right night in tournaments in terms of when I use the pitchers there, but I like Hoffman tonight. Next up, Jordan Montgomery of the New York Yankees taking on the Oakland Athletics. Montgomery was a guy I kind of flirted with a little bit earlier in the year when his prices were sub 5K, and it was just a matter of, hey, if I play this guy with the top ace and, he doesn't completely go out and disappoint, then we're sitting in a good position. His last couple of games have been pretty good. He had a great game last time against Baltimore, going 7 innings with 8 strikeouts, 2 runs allowed. That's a pretty strong outing. He gets an Athletics team tonight that's just striking out through the roof. All of the numbers the Athletics are putting up against left-handed bats just really don't look good. I'm not saying there's not risk to Montgomery tonight, but looking at some of the names around him or the matchups around him, I just feel far more confident putting him in my tournament lineups than some of the others in a similar range. To wrap things up tonight, we could throw Gio Gonzalez in there because it's a lefty-heavy Mets team, but they've got some pieces that, can cause some damage, and on a whole, I just don't trust Gio. Basically, all of the Nats pitchers, with the exception of Max Scherzer, will screw me over if I put them in my cash game lineup. So maybe I want to save the money, but I just can't feel comfortable about doing it with Gio tonight. So I'm just going to spend up and go to Chris Sale. This will be night 3 in a row where the Phillies, who are horrible against right-handed pitching, will get a left-hander on the mound. My thought process on Sale is that he's going to strike out 8 to 11 bats. He's going to give up 2 to 3 runs. That's pretty much unavoidable with his pitching style. Like, he seems to have regressed back to that. He took a 1-year break last year where he was finesse Chris Sale, and the goal was, eat innings not really worry too much about the strikeouts, mitigate run activity. This year it's just been, no, let's strike people out and let's have the offense come through for us. And I think the offense is set up to come through pretty good tonight. There's always the upside with Sale that he's able to whiff, through this lineup, and they don't score any runs. And at that point, there's just no one on the slate who can touch his upside. So for probably the third night in a row, I think you're going to be looking at some really heavy ownership up top. Corey Kluber was not highly owned last night, not in terms of how high I really expected him to be. So we could see that happen. I mean, maybe people think that Verlander is in a good spot. The Rays are always a team that's worth looking at because they strike out so much. Maybe, like I said, people want to go to Gio. Nobody in their right mind is going to play Sonny Gray. I can't stress that enough. But I'm going to go with Sale. He makes the obvious SP1, but you don't have to be. I always try to tell myself, like, are you being contrarian, cute, or stupid? And that's like a descending order there. Like, contrarian is playing, Chris Sale against the Rays when Kershaw's on the mound against the Padres. Maybe you just have a bad feeling Kershaw hasn't looked the same really this year as in years past. I don't think. You might feel better going to Sale. Cute is saying, Jacob Faria has been starting the year really hot. I mean, it's only been one outing, but he's in a good situation again with a team that can strike out. Playing him is cute. You get away with it. Kershaw has an off game. Faria's cheap. You're able to spend up on your bats. Stupid is saying, well, no one's going to own Jules Chaseen, and since everyone's going to own Kershaw and nobody's going to own Jules Chaseen, if I play him and he does well, I win. We need a whole lot of things to go right to do that, and that's where I play stupid, and I've been pretty good about it over the past year and a half or so, and it's really exclusively in baseball. No other sport do I find myself having that argument, but baseball, it just gets me. Anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you have good luck tonight. 3 of my favorite pitchers, once again, Jeff Hoffman, Jordan Montgomery, Chris Sale. Make sure to like our YouTube channel below. Head over to Facebook, like us there, follow us on Twitter at Research and Win, and join us again tomorrow.